more time. Well, there you go. All right. Again, so after technical difficulties, we're here at 6:10 PM for our monthly meeting. Everybody is present and accounted for. All members are here. So, call to order, audience of citizens. Nobody here. No, check that one off. Approval of minutes. Has anybody had a chance to read the minutes from last month's? Any
Yeah.
comments? Any changes?
Yeah, I have one,
Okay.
second paragraph, says, Mr. Richards stated that there was a concern with the clock, that the commission wanted to take our donation. I believe that was brought up by Pete.
I brought that up, yes.
Yeah, so that's,
Okay, so do me a favor, just forward that to me and I'll send that to Alina.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else? Bill, anything else or no?
I have.
Pete?
Hey, I just lost your video again.
Oh, sorry. I was tired of looking at myself. So there you go.
All right, old business. Donations, and USG. All right, I'm sorry, you're right. Motion to approve. Motion. Peter, second by Jimmy Green. All right.
I'll abstain, I was not here for the 16th.
Fair enough. Old business, donations and USG. Signature.
Can I make a motion to add an item to old business to the agenda?
Okay.
A follow-up, I read in the minutes that Saul was gonna check, come up with a suggestion at the next meeting regarding the golf, the restaurant coupons.
Okay,
So can we add that to old business, please?
motion to add that,
I make a motion.
second. There you go, fair enough, add it, okay. Let's start with donations to the and USGA senior amateur. Saul, or not Saul?
The donations to the Berlin high schools, I think there was 3 of them. They're going on their council this Tuesday. So it's probably customary for it to be approved. The fee waiver for the USGA senior amateur qualifier is being delayed to get on agenda. Roach had some concerns about the cost of it. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna bring it up to the council without it being on the agenda first. Kind of get their feelings on it. And that's what I have for it.
Okay, the donations we're all related to Vernon, the other donations are all related to the Berlin high school.
Yeah, it's Berlin High School. One is the music and theater, the other is the Booster Club, and the other is the Griswold Elementary.
So we didn't see those, right?
I didn't see those.
We approved those in the last meeting.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, and senior amateur, and then do we need to show up for that thing at all or no?
The town council meeting this Tuesday is just for those Berlin High School donations. You probably don't have to.
Okay,
When we get the USGA senior amateur on the agenda, if you want to show support on that, you can. But they know that it went through the group first, and you guys that the commission
Yeah,
has
okay.
approved it. So, Mark, do you think there's any chance of getting some green fees out of it, or?
We can certainly ask
Okay,
for sure. I mean, I don't know if they offer something like that.
Yeah.
I know that carts are optional. The driving range they pay for, you can charge them whatever you want. Practice rounds could be regular fee. And typically we'll get half the field, I would say minimum, we'll take a practice round. So I know it's, what is it, a Wednesday?
it's a Wednesday morning,
Typically our slowest day or morning.
right?
And it only ties up the tee until about 11, 12 o'clock. So it's not an all day thing. In the past, they've always done it just because, and I mean, I think this one's kind of special because we have a lot of senior players that may participate that are local. And I think that they would probably appreciate it being held at their golf course. So, I mean, I think it's always a good thing to be on their schedule. I mean, it shows that our course is worthwhile to
Mhm.
host the championship at, so. I mean, I will always think that's a good thing, but in terms of giving up revenue, it's hard to tell because we are gonna get card fees, we are gonna get range, we are gonna get practice rounds prior, versus what we would normally get that month.
You're gonna get a lot, or probably a lot more play than you would. How many of these do we normally do? Normally 1 or 2 a year, right?
Usually it's one a year.
Yeah.
With the CSGA, it's been one a year. They hosted the Connecticut Open qualifier, the US Mid-Am qualifier, the 4-ball.
And we've done it since the beginning of time.
Well, and I also think it's important to know, there's a difference between the CSGA and this is the USGA. We don't get one USGA a year.
No.
It's,
I think
it's
we've
a
only had
privilege.
4 in history.
Yeah,
History of
it
the
is
course.
really, Timberland should be considered, this is pretty prestigious to be offered a USGA event. And personally, I think that if we don't waive the fees, they're gonna go to another course. They're not gonna, they don't, I've never known a qualifier where
I mean,
they've done that.
let's face it, we're not Hartford Golf Club or somewhere where
No.
maybe they have some leverage to charge something.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think the
don't-
fact we're gonna get carts, and I think a lot of the senior players will take carts, I feel.
Oh, yeah, and you'll get a lot of practice rounds.
Yeah, no question.
So I think it's important, Sal, that we do know when it goes so that we can speak to
Sure.
it.
That's why I was
Yeah, I
saying,
mean, we're-
we show our support for that because it's.
'Cause
We're just delaying it 2 weeks to get
Okay.
more information. Just so you know, everything communicated in the last few minutes has been communicated back to Arosh, right? He knows how prestigious it is, CSGA versus USGA,
Good.
and all the possibilities of getting revenues from all the different, types of revenues we can get. So he just wants another couple weeks before, before I go up there and, maybe not get it. So
Yeah,
we're just waiting like a couple more information, I think. So
yeah. When does the USGA want an answer?
I know I've been talking to Mike Sabatic.
Okay.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Right? Just trying to get more information on like what events we've held here.
Right,
He was able to help me with that. I asked him if maybe they could help with green fees. He hasn't gotten back to me, but I just asked today. So, they haven't really put any pressure on like, hey, I need to know now.
Did they give you a date? They didn't give you a date to let them know by?
They don't, I mean, the tournament's in
It's
August.
in August. We're
So,
probably on their calendar, but
Yeah.
it's probably tentative, all of it's tentative
yeah,
at this point. They gotta let people know, and I mean, I would think that this one of all things, they probably have to have it done at a certain time, if it's the US, it's a national
Yeah.
ball.
this is a national
Yeah.
qualifier, so
Mhm.
it has to be on the website and all
Yeah.
of that. So people have to apply.
So 2 weeks, we'll have an answer in 2 weeks?
we'll be in the agenda into the next town council.
Council meeting. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
if either we're on the agenda or not, then
I know
that's,
more.
yeah, we'll for sure know about it. So
Any idea of how many players?
they have a max of 85. So I know you said it was around 60 to 85. So if you have 85, that's about $3,000 worth of green fees. If it's all right.
Well,
So
let's face it, on Wednesday morning, we're getting a lot of pass play.
yeah,
Oh,
typically.
Yeah.
So no, I mean I agree with everyone. It's not like we're not trying to not have it. We just want to make sure we cover all our bases before we go in front of the council.
Maybe ask him, typically how many ride,
Sabatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll ask him.
because they probably can give you a ballpark if it's half the field or something, because then you can rely on $24 per player.
Right.
That'd be some.
And I'm sure most if not all will warm up.
Yeah. a lot of it.
Well, they're gonna pay per player for the range.
Right.
Regardless if they use it or not. You're gonna probably charge them a flat fee.
A lot of them seniors.
They were all seniors.
Yeah, the majority of them probably will ride. That's what I would
It's
think.
a
that
hot
most of-
day in August.
They're not gonna walk,
Yeah.
you know.
There's no question that you'll make more money on it with that than you would on a regular Wednesday morning. No question.
You're not gonna be giving up as much, let's put it that way. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I think that, that's the perspective, you're not gonna when it is, exactly, it's gonna go
Yeah.
up, and it's not,
It's not gonna be a lot.
Maybe that last line, Peter, will be the turning point.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
all right, ordinance proposal and update, public hearing.
You want to tackle that, Ms. Gale?
Well, why doesn't somebody who was at the ordinance meeting?
Who was at the ordinance?
I was not.
I was not.
Me, you were.
Oh, that was just with, I'm sorry, I'm like
Yeah, you were.
spacing out.
Oh, I thought you meant
No,
for
no,
the
no, I
ordinance
thought it
of
was-
the,
no, That was
yeah.
actually, you know what?
Weren't you both at the
Let's
ordinance
start by,
meeting?
What was that?
no, we were all there, we were all
You
there.
were both there.
The
I
last
saw it
ordinance meeting.
online.
Yeah, the last ordinance meeting, that
Yeah.
was like a month ago. That was
Yeah.
last month.
Well, I just.
Well, we welcome, first of all, let's welcome Bill, you know, to
Okay.
Richard's radio, first and foremost, I didn't do that, I'm sorry. Please accept my apologies for doing that. He's been sitting in the corner all along, and now he's at the table.
From that to take.
So, he's from the little kid's table to the big kid's table, right?
Yeah, right.
Little kid's table was always more fun growing up, well, at least I thought it was. So we'll leave it at that. So that was, that, we did discuss, you know, whether Bill, would, you know, would be a good fit, and we just said yes, and so I guess it was voted upon, and so here you go. And that was basically the extent of what that, our involvement with that thing was at that point in time. The last meeting, ordinance meeting, all right?
Okay,
All right.
so I'd like to, I'd like to read to the group the proposal for the ordinance, and there's gonna be a, on the 21st, before the town council, there is a hearing on this, and if we support this, I think since it was said that we supported this, I think it would be helpful for some of us to go and support it, which is section 2-19. In the past, they didn't spell out who the people are, if they just said 8 members. So now the word is to add this verbiage. No more than 4 members shall be, so the public commission, golf commission shall be composed of 8 resident electors of the town. No more than 4 members shall be from the men's club, 1 from the senior club, 1 non-golfer, 1 from the ladies club, and 1 from the Lady Niners. So that's the sentence that's being proposed to add into the ordinance.
I disagree with that.
What
I
about,
do, I totally, I don't understand why.
what about the non-golfer?
Well, that's what,
Well,
you disagree with that.
so he, I go.
I was gonna say, you
There's
go.
a couple of non-golfers that did.
I think that what he's trying to say, what they're saying, no affiliation to me, the organizations that are there, that's what that's trying to say.
Okay, well,
And, but it does, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I understand
this is
everybody's,
being, you understand, this
Yeah.
was given to them and supported by the 2 of you at the
well,
ordinance
we
meeting.
talked about that, and that, there was just questions of, you know,
I mean,
do we have,
I'm
can we
fine.
get rid of it? Can we get rid of it?
well, again, this is what's being proposed. It came up at the ordinance meeting as a result of, if you all remember at the town council meeting, which Bill was there, and many people spoke about the need to have representation from the seniors. One of the things they talked about at that town council meeting, which is now almost 2 months old, is maybe they would consider adding another member, because Jim
That's
Joe
right.
was still.
That was the
And so-
original.
Right, and so then they said, well, we'll take it under consideration. This is my understanding of what has transpired. So the town council took it under consideration. Shortly thereafter, Jim Bugello resigned. So it sounded to me like, and that was my question to you in the email, is the town council considering adding a member and replacing Jim? Or is it that the recommendation is going to be that a senior member, to represent the men's senior club and keep it at 8? So the proposal at the ordinance, this is what was drafted.
Yeah.
This is what you said you supported. And now the next step is that there's a hearing. Just, the public hearing is on the 21st, which is next Tuesday morning, next Tuesday before the town council meeting. I mean,
It's 8 people.
It's 8 people.
Is it 8?
but the question, they want to add, the recommendation is to add this language. So we either have to go and support this, in my opinion, or not. I mean, I'm fine with supporting it because actually it's kind of said that way already.
Yeah, isn't it just a different way of saying what they've already said? Like, you need diversity in the group. They're just putting actual
If you're
numbers
putting it,
now.
we're putting it in writing.
Yeah,
The written is reflective of what we currently
This,
have.
this forces them not to make the mistake
Yes.
that they made over and over.
yeah,
So-
sure.
You know, so, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's forcing 4, 1, 1, 1, or whatever.
Right.
Well,
No more than.
So no
it
more
could
than.
be
Yeah.
three, you
No
know.
more.
I mean, is there any other branches that they're leaving out that I don't know about, or?
No,
No,
I mean,
but
I'm
there may
fine
be-
with this.
Yeah.
I just want this group to know
Yeah.
that this is coming before the council. It's come
Yeah.
before the ordinance committee as us supporting it. And so I
Well,
want you all to know
If
that.
my vote counts, I'm good with it.
Well, suppose somebody says, well, you know what, where do you draw the line? What about juniors? Right, I mean, where do you draw,
Well,
It
actually,
has to
I
be a
say-
certain age
hold
to
on.
be on a commission.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
right,
we're talking about
exactly. So what I'm
adults.
gonna say,
Yeah,
suppose I join
think
the
so.
seniors, right, and I say I'm a men's club and a senior, well, what does that count as?
I
And
don't think anybody's gonna speak to this, but people in this room, frankly,
Yeah,
next Tuesday.
I mean, listening to the way it's worded, I don't wanna say I'm ambivalent towards it, it's like, but, okay, if that's what's on the table, I don't see anything wrong with it. On the flip side, though, I kind of sit there and say, town council, you have to approve all commission members. Not that you're gonna ask, you know, are you a member of which organization or which entity?
now you're gonna then
They're
check.
gonna have that.
Well, they're gonna do that.
It's on the,
Yeah, they're gonna do it.
I mean, I'm okay with it,
Yeah,
frankly, because it reflects what's happening,
Yeah,
right.
but I just want this group to know that,
Where are we right now? Are we at those numbers,
yes.
yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
But
Like,
suppose I say I wanna join the men's club, the senior men's club. Well, what does that mean? That means I can't be a member of both.
Exactly, because you already admit, I mean,
I'm a
you-
member of the
I
men's
think
club.
you
Suppose I
can
say I
check
wanna
off
join the
that
senior-
box for the commissioner.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but suppose I'm a member of both, you can't have, what do you?
I don't
it
think,
doesn't-
I don't know that it matters.
According to this, it does.
right,
What happens?
because
if
doing
it's-
swinging both
I-
ways.
Well,
I think it only
It's not
matters-
more than. right? It's
It-
not
I
more
think
than.
it only matters if there's other people trying to get in,
Correct.
right?
That's
If
not
that makes
what-
sense.
No offense, that's not what it says. That's
Hey,
not-
Gail,
And I just. hold on
Hey,
a
Seb,
second,
go ahead,
one
Seb.
second. I just.
Gail,
I look at it this way. You're boxing yourself in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's how I look at
What
this.
happens if there's like the
And-
Lady Niners, no one
Wants
wants
to do it.
Then they just
Well,
won't have,
they-
you will
you
be
won't
one
get-
less commission then.
Yeah, but
Be
they'll
one
put
less,
somebody
one
back
less.
to
We'll
square
have
one.
to add from someplace else.
I
But
think
the
it'll be one
ordinance,
less.
the ordinance will force somebody
Yeah.
from the Lady Niners to
Yeah.
get to be on the commission. It
But-
will.
No,
No, you can't
Or
force
does it-
somebody.
well-
The VNA, no,
You can't
Peter,
do
the
that.
VNA, not every, the VNAs have vacancies.
I understand they have a vacancy, but
We
that
have a
seat
vacancy.
that seat will only be able to be filled
Correct.
by a Lady
Right.
Niner.
And if
Yeah.
there's no Lady Niners, there will be seven.
7
members.
members.
Oh,
And if there's no women's club member and no Lady Niners,
That's
there'll be
6.
6.
Yeah.
And that's the way, I mean,
then,
really.
Is that what you guys want?
hey, Gail, Gail,
Go ahead,
That's
Seb.
Gail, was there any mention at all about the financial, the wording that we have out there now to revise it
No,
while we're having an ordinance meeting?
no, they haven't done
No.
that.
No.
They were just asking questions on this, and I left, I left that meeting, we were there, we all left.
yeah, we learned.
After he got, they said it was good with him, we all kind of get at, you know, we did talk about this briefly, but we all
Well-
left. So,
Because really, is this an opportunity to bring that up?
no,
no, it's not, because
No,
it's not on the,
It's not on the
on the
agenda.
agenda.
Well, why didn't they address it? Because we've been asking for it right along for the last 2 years.
I know, but there was nobody at that ordinance, it was not on the agenda for that ordinance meeting. What was on the agenda was this, to address the issue with us not having a senior.
So next week, if I go to the meeting, if things work out for me, I might bring it up.
You could be an
You're free-
audience or
you're free to-
citizen,
free to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
so the audience-
Yeah.
you know, but they don't do Q&As with audience or citizen. You're just making a statement. They don't have to answer you back.
they don't have to answer that.
They're not.
No, that's all right, but at least I'll go on record that, you
Yeah.
know, it's
Well, that's
still
what
an
I,
item.
that's
It's
why I
a
asked, I
concern.
asked that question earlier, like when was the last time it was asked? So someone needs to front run it.
I mean, I'm okay either way.
I'm okay with it.
with it, but personally,
I'm okay with it as well. Again, I just want to make people aware of the change, and they're gonna vote on it next.
Yep.
And there's a.
this
there's a public hearing.
this was put forth so that what happened doesn't happen again.
Correct.
And that instead of, when the council overlooked all of this, this would have been the second time that they've added a commissioner because they overlooked the.
Let's think about this.
But no, go ahead. Yeah, I know, their problem becomes our, I get it. They're.
So let's think about this in the respect that Joe says, now I want to join the men's club.
I was thinking about joining it this year.
Really?
I guess
So-
I can't.
You back to school again.
Okay, so,
Well, I don't think the council members, Arosh, it sounded to me from the meeting like Arosh wrote it, and they asked you whether this was fair representation because of the fact, and I think you answered correctly, that the men's club has the largest
I answered
membership.
that, I got yelled at, yeah.
Well, but it was and
Yeah, it is
our
proportional.
groups are smaller, so therefore we only have one representative. So technically it
But the
is
senior men
proportional.
have quite a few people, don't they?
Yeah, it's about
140?
109.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
as
bigger.
of last year.
So they're bigger than us, but
Yeah,
they're not
oh,
as
yeah,
big as the men's.
Definitely. Should something be stated there that indicates if there isn't representation from one of the groups, that it remains vacant?
Well, that can be a suggestion.
I'll talk to Roche tomorrow.
I
Yeah,
think you should
that's
because
something, yeah, because that doesn't seem right.
So what's the driver line?
the fact that.
You could join the
The
meeting,
fact
right?
that, the fact that they added a member, you were added. You were Added, right, when you came, you should have been a senior. Right, because
Because they didn't replace,
they didn't replace
A senior with a
senior
senior.
with a senior.
they replaced with you.
But I'm only 29, I don't know.
And that was
That's not real great.
And that was the
Guys,
person
it's
that you replaced was added as an eighth member. That's correct. Because they didn't have senior men's club representation.
Shortly
This
after this
commission
was started.
started as 7.
Correct.
Then it went to 8 because there was no senior represented. So then you come along, which is fine, and now they have
Still no
appointments,
senior
now it comes
representative.
up for appointments, and still no senior men's club representative was appointed. Hence, in all due respect, very and fairly so, they want representation, so they complained, and they wanted to add another.
Maybe it doesn't have to be this strict, maybe, I don't know. Because it leaves a little room for interpretation, but sometimes a little room for interpretation can be a good thing. To say, the composition of the commission shall be representative of the various member groups.
That to me makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Like it's
but maybe you
encouraged,
could,
and I'll
this,
suggest
but you
that
don't-
to them.
maybe you
Right.
could suggest that.
Exactly.
And if Arosh is in agreement with that, then we could go on the 21st and propose that, but I won't, in other words, I think we need to support him and you. Cause it's
Yeah.
already been discussed.
Yeah,
So I think it would, because I think you could raise the question, how do you want to join the seniors? And now technically you're a senior and a men's
that's
club.
right. And he wasn't joining the men's club, he can't.
So you can, you just,
But he
what,
can't, then it's-
what does that mean for his membership
correct,
here?
yeah.
And I don't think they thought that through, so maybe this could be a little
So that
more
means we have to like
flexible.
someone else that's not a golfer, right?
My feelings would be hurt.
If you
He's
sponsor.
not a golfer anyway.
You are.
Trust me, when I show up golfing, I'm not a golfer.
But I think that would be, the
Yeah.
and then let us know, and
Okay.
because I could go on the 21st.
That's what.
I would say, like, you know, in reviewing this, it might make it too restrictive.
Yeah, that's right.
It
You
is.
have to be in the
Yeah,
meeting.
it is restricted. You're right.
I'm the oldest
So,
one in here.
not
Oh,
that I wanna get into a debate, because I don't,
74.
Oh, you are older than me.
Yeah, see, I'm older than everybody.
why isn't it just residents of the community can be a member of the commission and the town council votes on your participation? And
Right, because of what has happened about the seniors being overlooked.
That's the way it was. And then twice, the senior men's club member did not get approved or appointed. So that's why, because there was never any,
Well, how many of them really came out for the job? To really be on the board? He was the only
I
one.
came out
No.
in the last 2 years.
Jose did.
Yeah, but when did Jose come out?
I think it
Not
was-
why,
I
not
think it
when,
was when
who
you
would
were,
do-
when you were
who-
running.
he took whose spot?
Jeff.
He
Or
took
Ruth.
Jeff, he took Jeff's spot, right? And so when that spot opened, I don't know any other senior that came out on that spot.
Remember Jose came to our
He
meeting
did do a couple.
and
That's
said
that's
that
correct.
he
Yeah.
Few,
he
is there-
wanted to
yeah.
be on it, yeah.
Yeah, no, they tried.
All right, I'll talk to our Roche, and
All right.
that's fine, but maybe we'll make it general. It
If
should
we
be
can,
proper-
we can.
Just representation from the groups.
Yeah,
Because at
make it
what
more
point,
flexible.
where do you
I
draw
think
the
it's
line?
appropriate to say representation from all the groups that have a vested interest in Timberland.
Well, define vested interest, you don't want to.
Yeah, just whatever.
Very careful.
But I mean,
That's-
Well, again,
And all
with
the
the
groups, right?
being a
Yeah,
little
right.
more ambiguous,
Yeah.
you run into that,
Yeah.
but I don't think most people that aren't directly affected by this.
That way you
care
can join
because
us.
You were directly, your group is
It's not
directly
senior yet.
affected.
I'm only 29.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They left those.
In regards to this, I wanted to bring up something, because I received a letter, which I have in here from the mayor, in regards to my term.
Yeah.
And that went to
3 years.
2026, 3 years, yes. Then, when I came in, I think it was this week, and swore my allegiance to Berlin,
Mhm.
they said, oh, no, that's wrong, because I saw the card, and the card they gave me had 2024 on it.
You're right.
He's right.
Why?
And I'm getting there, yeah. So Kate
Oh,
said,
God.
that was by mistake because you're replacing a person that was
That's correct.
on here and you're
Correct.
serving out their term, is what-
Correct,
Correct.
Yeah.
correct.
what she said.
And so you'll come up for vote again.
In 20
January.
I'll have to
in January.
reapply.
You'll get something in the mail.
You'll get something in the
Yeah,
mail
sure.
asking you if you want to re-up, you'll say yes,
They'll give you a form to fill out.
and then you
Okay.
did, you know, yeah.
And then, and so that's a letter that comes from the town manager. And the people say it's absolutely
Right.
correct. You have to just sign it, send it in, decide what you want to do and go from there. If you decide that you don't want
Okay.
to re-up, then let them know and then we'll have to have another
Yeah,
senior.
you may not want to come back after this.
Well, yeah, it gives me the option.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, it was just confusing when I did go in
Yeah.
and swear in.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that makes
well,
sense.
Wait a
That makes
minute
sense.
here.
So that happened to
And
me
they
too.
handed me another letter written,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
signed by the
I
mayor.
went through that too. When I came in, I had to go through the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Third thing, we have the follow-up on the, with Saul dealing with the restaurant and coupons.
Where Ramsey and I are all for it. The days we picked, Wednesday and Friday. I don't know if I want to do both days, so I was gonna see, if y'all had recommendation either day. So, but the deal would be, if they do a green fee and a cart, they get Ramsey gets a little kickback.
He gets a kickback. Automatically.
Or,
Whether or not they show up.
What if they don't
No.
show up?
No, like if they pay for it,
What do you mean if they pay for
if
it?
they pay for a green fee, if a golfer pays for a green fee and a cart,
Yeah.
they get a coupon with
Like a
Ramsey.
certain amount of dollars,
For
$5 off.
$5.
Yeah,
$5.
And then they have to turn that coupon into Ramsey.
Yeah.
Correct.
Are they numbered coupons?
yeah.
And then when he turns them into you, you all reimburse him that $5.
I need the coupon and receipt.
Okay.
Perfect. That's not what it used to be.
I don't know
That's
what it
good.
used to be,
Well,
but
that's why we're asking.
That's what I'm used
Yeah,
to.
that's why we're,
That's what I'm used to.
Jonathan used to collect the receipts.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
They-
The last year, he definitely.
yeah, it changed.
Oh, maybe the last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it used to be carte blanche. You just say, how many you have?
However, it was on the.
And then we
report
just
for
said,
the month.
because it never
Yeah.
changed. There was the
But
same amount
then it
month after
changed.
month.
Okay,
It did change last year, we did it.
good.
Okay.
If you called them on the.
I don't know
card.
how accurate it was, but.
Well,
Well,
that's what we're trying to
I
get.
think it might be a little more accurate.
We're trying to get accuracy, I don't want just like, oh, I did 10.
No, you
You
have
know?
to have accountant, you have to have
Yeah.
documentation. Personally, I'm fine with doing both Wednesday and Friday, because chances are, if someone's gonna come up and spend $5, they're gonna spend $8 or $10 or $12.
Right.
There's very few things that you're gonna get for $5, so.
Correct.
And I tell you what, the other thing is, you can start with Wednesday and Friday, monitor it for a
Yeah.
few months, and then if you feel, come back to say it's working well, it's not working well, and make a change.
Okay.
That would be.
What
my
fee is it
recommendation.
gonna be based
Yeah, but
on?
that's
Sorry.
how,
This comes off the top.
What,
Comes off our dime.
what fee
I
would
know.
it be based off of? Cause it can't be like you show up for 18 in a cart and you get $5 because you're a pass over. Like, it's gotta be based off.
somebody who's paying.
To me, it's full rates, like,
So it's a rack
or
rate.
a publication rate, or
Okay.
not, like,
Yeah,
sorry
not a
to our season
pass.
passes,
No,
but,
no.
you know, that
It's
there's
not
no
the rate in
rate.
the book Either.
I would just say it's probably the rack rate, which is the full rate.
Yeah,
Like, what is it, 60, it's probably
I get
60
no-
something dollars.
with a cart, yeah, something like that.
So then it's worthwhile if you attract people to do that.
Yeah.
You give
That's
them
what I'm
yeah.
thinking, and monitor it and see.
Correct.
Is the coupon good for only that day?
Only that day.
Correct,
So you're gonna have,
correct.
all right, so now let's talk about internal controls with this thing. So you're gonna have pre-numbered coupons?
I was
how-
thinking different color coupons.
Well, that's fine, I don't, but numbered also, because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, what's that no color you have for one day?
Well, they're just
They're
like
just
raffle
drawing off.
tickets with the numbers already.
I'm sorry?
They're like the raffle tickets with the pre-number.
Okay,
And, we just gotta make like an Excel file, and see where we're at. For those particular days that we, say that Wednesday we gave 10 out, well, those 10 numbers would be in my Excel file and, see what Ramsey gives back to
Okay.
me.
Right.
all right,
So you'll record them numbers that you have before you put the ticket out.
Yeah, it's not hard to
Then that's just-
write a
yeah,
number
well, then
down.
take it back before you pay anything, so at the end of Wednesday or Thursday morning, you say, here, give me your tickets.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not
It's
gonna
just-
get any money from the town before, like, I handed his ticket into,
Well,
to
you're gonna-
finance.
then it'd be once a month.
Right.
Yeah,
basically,
it
right?
might just be like end of the month, he gets a lump sum.
That's exactly what
It's not
happens,
every
but what I'm
week or
saying
every
is you're gonna
day.
collect that thing,
But
every
his
Wednesday
numbers-
or Friday, then that this is
No,
going
but his
on.
No,
numbers
I-
have to match up with his number.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
for like a month.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna wait till the end of the month to collect the
I mean,
ticket.
I see Ramsey every day. I can get it for that Wednesday. I can get it on Thursday
Wednesday,
mornings, or
yeah.
that Friday I get it, if I'm at work Saturday. No, I'm just kidding.
I would do it Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday and Friday,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay.
Because Friday
I'd
can be
start
very
that way
busy.
and monitor
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Friday could be actually the good day.
I think
Right.
Friday would be a better day.
Yeah,
to be honest
Friday
with you.
you have more traffic.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we market, we'll put it on, social media that we got this deal, maybe we get some on Wednesdays,
Yeah,
where we're saying it's not so busy, or,
Yeah, we bring in some business for a Wednesday.
mhm.
yeah.
On Fridays, Ramsey has dinners.
He,
some
yeah, I
Fridays.
was saying, he's got his dinners anyway, but, it's so nice to have a relationship with Ramsey where we're helping him too, so.
Okay. All right, new business. Since we have a resignation of one vice chair, we need to nominate another vice chair.
I don't like Joe.
I second it.
You Interested, Joe?
Well, keep it, get him to more meetings.
You interested?
On time.
No. No, it's not.
Wow.
complicated, it's-
All right.
He's the youngest one.
Yeah.
That's
only 29.
Anybody else?
Seb, do you hear that?
I can even see seven.
Sebby, did you hear that?
Seb, did you hear the nomination?
He probably knocked him off.
No, he did not.
All in favor?
No, he's-
Hold on.
Joe Pacini was nominated for vice
Joe-
president.
Joe, did you nominate for vice president? All in favor?
No, Joe.
Aye.
You can vote, Joe.
You can vote for yourself.
He raised his hand.
No, good.
There you
Sebby's
go.
giving a thumbs up.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sincerely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's good.
What's he doing, sir?
No, no.
I know.
No.
No, he's at the hospital.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Did not know.
we didn't know that.
My bad.
I thought he was at home.
No, no.
Well, he should have told
No,
us
I
he was
was-
there.
No, well, okay, booking about, no, next, booking multiple tea times, weekends, holidays, weekdays.
this, by the way, gang, this is just a topic of conversation, right? There's no decision made. Like, I don't know how the public knows or is thinking that I made a decision on this. Cause I got a lot of phone calls the last couple of days about it. This is just topic of conversation for future changes that we may do,
Okay.
right? On the other hand, if y'all feel like we should do this change, then this is what it's for, right?
So let's
So,
talk it through, because I think one of the times we talked about this, Mark was in Florida. And then you got, you know.
What's
you
our
said
current policy?
4 tea times,
4.
4, you can make.
a
one
person can make 4
4
tea
tea
times
Okay. I just didn't know.
at one time, either in person or on the phone. Online, you can only make 1. Right, that's how our system's set up. They can't do
And
multiple
then if
tea
you
times.
wanted more than that, typically people would consider outing.
Outing.
And they contact me to book ahead of time. type thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
Do they pay an outing price?
Yeah.
So all those guys who play on the weekends pay an outing price.
No, I'm saying if
Well,
it's
that's
more, no, I'm saying if it's more than 4 tea times, I'm saying it's
Mhm.
5 or more,
Got it.
okay? That's what it's been. They'll contact me to book an outing.
that's
Okay.
even in the
Essentially.
weekends.
Yeah.
So,
Well, typically we don't get them in the mornings or the
Yeah.
weekends. I try to stay
Right.
away from that. If it's like after 11, I'll book a 20-player outing.
and outings meaning like no season passes, or
No.
there are season
It's
passes.
not a shotgun outing.
No, I
It's
know,
a
but
group
like
of-
when you charge them
Typically,
for,
there's nobody that has a pass that plays.
In and out,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's an
Got it.
exact policy for it, but I
Right.
know it's usually just a flat fee. for-
Connecticut Am Tour is maybe one of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There's
So
not
like if
many
I
of
got a
them.
Well,
group of gals together and
right.
said, Mark, we
Yeah.
want 6 tea times, you know,
Well,
what,
Snooga's
1
hosting
o'clock.
opening day, so it's kind of like that, you know, Snooga's hosting their opening day tournament there.
Right.
So.
So just other municipal golf courses in the area. You know, is it for a typical rule of thumb, or is it more generous, less generous?
I think you see both ways on it. You know, where some public courses or municipal courses only do 1 tea time and some do 2, 3, or 4. You know, and some may be different from weekends and weekdays. You know, like weekdays, I mean, if you want to do 4, you know, no problem. I mean, we're already saying Wednesdays, you know, not such a busy day, but when you do have such a busy day, you know, to maximize your tee sheet, you know, and I'm just talking residents, right? To have equal opportunity for all residents to book 5 days in advance, you know, because I know in years past, you may have gotten some requests for refunds on season passes because they can't make a tea time. You know, and also if you think about if there's a Sunday men's club event and the same folks are booking 4 tea times each on Saturday, you basically have your own country club.
Yep.
Which they pay for.
Well, no, I'm not saying
No,
they do or don't. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
I
you.
wasn't at the last 2 meetings, I apologize for that. But I think that, and after reading the minutes, you know, I felt very strongly like, hey, we need to make as much money as we can because our budget is way higher, and it's like, we need to come up with creative ways. But then at the same time, I read the minutes, and it's like, you've made money the last however many years in terms of profit. So things have been running, we'll just say good or smooth.
But we also have more
So-
expenses this year.
So
than we have.
we do, but we're also projecting our rate is higher.
But
So
what
I
rates
just
are
think
higher?
All the rates are higher. You guys
Yes.
projected it based on previous play.
Yeah,
So what I think you do is this year, you leave it as is. That would be my recommendation because you've made money. Now, if by chance we don't meet that number, well, now there's leverage to change something. Right now, I don't think there's a reason to because we've made money. And I know everybody discussed this at the last meeting because I read the minutes.
That's exactly what I said last meeting. Our projected revenue versus expenses are in the plus. We're projected to make $40,000.
There's
And
not a
that's- that's-
need to change it yet. Now, you can
Right.
even look halfway through the year. Maybe you look in July and you really see.
Yeah.
Maybe at that point, you make an adjustment to something like this. It's not exactly like a complete policy change, like on the days in advance and all that. It's just you can't book 4 times versus 1.
So what I'm hearing though, is I'm not hearing anything about. I'm not hearing anything about, what does this do for the resident? This doesn't do anything. This is about money. So let's just come out and say it, that it's about money. It's about revenue, fine. This year, we're projected to make more money. So why stir the pot? But if you want to make money, say you want to make money, but know that when these people are making 2 and 3 and 4, even 14 times, that a lot of those players are out of towners.
Are they season pass holders?
Doesn't matter. They're out of towners.
Well, season pass holders pay $1,600. They're out of town.
Right.
I mean, but again, I'll go back to keeping it simple, like what's we've been doing has worked enough to make money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that making profit right now is even a good idea. You guys gotta break even. Until you have a special revenue fund or whatever it's called where you can keep it, then why would you wanna make 40 grand? Because you see where it goes. And
Goes
that's the
back to the
general
general
fund, and it never came back. So
And
the
I have
goal should be to break even.
But I think part of, no, you
a
go ahead.
question. How many times are there that many people that make 4, 3
No.
and 14 times?
So just this is based on my experience.
Yeah,
On the
exactly.
weekends, because I mean, there's probably 3 groups of people and they're either 12 players or 16. And typically what'll happen is one of them will book the 3 times or the 4 times.
So
that
it
they
happens
call,
once a
or they
week.
walk it.
One group
happens-
once a week?
It's usually, I would say, actually, it's
Or
not even the
twice.
same day, like
Right,
one
it's
of the
different
groups
people.
plays Sundays.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other 2 might play Saturdays. It's not all 3 at one time typically.
So this is not happening that much.
No.
So we're really not
targeting
affecting
a
many
select
people.
Few groups of
Pardon?
people.
You're not
No,
affecting
you're
a
not.
lot of people. If, if there is a change, who does it affect? 1 person, 2
No,
people,
it's
Well,
like
I-
16 people.
16
Yeah.
people?
Well, I kind
A
of,
group of.
Yeah,
I'm kind of going with your thought about it's working now. We don't really have any issues. We're projected to make some good money this year.
and like I said, we're not changing anything. This is just topic of conversation.
I know, I
Yeah.
realize that. I guess I'm,
The one thing that
Go ahead.
everyone in this room needs to realize is, I'm here to make money. If I'm ever gonna get a contract or what the things I want for myself, I have to show like good things, right? If I don't make the budget, I'm not gonna get things that I'm gonna request, all right? So whatever, put that a factor or not, but I'm here to make money for the town.
Okay.
And Saul,
Yeah.
Saul,
I got time.
I don't disagree with that.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, Seb, go ahead.
I don't disagree with you're saying you're out to make money. However, all right, we're the only entity in town that has to make money for this town, and that's wrong.
Or break.
That is totally wrong.
That goes back.
All right, no one else in the town of Berlin has to make money.
Yeah, I mean,
All right,
if we were able to keep the funds that we get, would our strategy change?
no, we're never gonna get the money. We're never,
No, yeah,
I've been here
obviously.
42 years, we're never gonna get the
You
money.
also lose,
Yeah.
and it's taking out of that same
The
line.
Saul, just so you know, I mean, the town spent 2 million on turf. Right? Was it 2 million or?
For the
2 or
football
whatever?
field?
Sage Park,
About
about
Yeah.
million 2,
Right.
you're on Park and Rec.
It was a million, two
And
million, three
then
million.
how much they just spent on the baseball field or the other soccer
It was
field,
like 300 grand.
300,000, so. And none of these organizations
Raise
generate
the money we generate,
squat, okay?
but they took from us.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to argue for other
High
departments.
schools and the middle schools are all, and
Yeah,
well, listen, I don't disagree with you, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, and I,
Proportionately
I-
speaking,
I understand.
proportionately.
but at the same token, and I'll just be devil's advocate here, consider what Joe said before, he wants to come in and, with a group of friends, but all the, we're in it, I can't get in there, because they're all booked, it's all booked, and it's the same guys booking the same things, week after week, and is that really fair to all the other residents that can't get a time? And that's really,
Not if you show up though,
Hey.
or you call and you get in before them. And
Exactly.
I mean, really, if you think about it, within 10 minutes, if you call at 7:15, the times are gone, whether it's 1 or 4, they're all gonna be gone.
Jim, and he's right.
So they're gone within 15 minutes.
Right,
they're gone.
you have to get up in the morning, you have to call in for your tea time like everybody else. The people that don't get it, that means they slept too long. So that's all it is. Or you get up and get in your car and go down to the pro shop and make your tea time. So you can't blame the people that don't live in town. It's the people who do live in town.
Back
They
in the
don't even
day,
drive away.
wasn't there a line out Southington Road, people? lined
That was,
up?
that was like 100 years ago.
Yes,
No, but
yes.
it's popular
Yeah,
now as it was then. If you gotta
And I was one of the guys that were there on the line on
You know he was old.
Southington Road.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting this year since we did go up in the rates, which we all supported, and I think that's a good thing because we could.
Yeah.
Because there's a demand.
Right.
So let's just see what happens this year. I mean, it might be a little different because maybe those people
Well, get
will
up.
shop, well, or shop around a little and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna go play Stanley, or I'm gonna go play Rockledge because it's $3 cheaper, or whatever the heck it is. I have no idea.
We're actually very
And,
competitive.
and,
Oh,
And
I
so?
think so too. I think so too.
Go ahead, Seth.
What's that?
yeah, we can't, we got an issue with the 50 anniversary. We're asking the town for $4,000. We're making money and we're not even getting $4,000 back to resolve that issue. All right, that bothers me a little bit because we're out to make money. They can't give us $4,000. We've been dragging that whole thing up with the clock. We should be able to resolve that and get it done. All right. That's where I have a problem with the town. They want money, but they don't want to give us any money back. And, the people that are getting screwed up here is the people that donated for that clock.
But,
And I
but-
support, I support you, Saul, if you wanna make money, that's good.
Right.
But then you also have to work the other side of it, that if we're making money for the town has to recognize our needs
But,
of the
but,
course.
but you gotta look at the point too, that money that he's claiming that we lost, that was on our watch. We lost some money on that clock, because we did something wrong.
We're talking about tea times, right?
No,
Yeah,
he's talking about the clock,
I know.
he's talking about the
Well,
clock.
it-
All right, let's just do the tea time, right? I'll tell you what, let's,
I have one more question.
I was just trying to make a point, that's all.
For weekdays, does the 4 tea times apply as well?
Yes, right, Mark?
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have just something that I'd like to present about the Lady Niners. Our league day is on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And when, I think the end of September, the last Thursday in September is our last league day. But what I've done for the last few years is the ladies want to keep playing on Thursday. So I have gotten like 6 tea times a week. Is that gonna be a problem?
Right now, doesn't seem like we're changing anything, Nancy,
So I can,
You would just call in and book them.
Yeah,
okay, so even if I had to book 6, they're not gonna say, well, the limit is 4.
well, that's why we're talking today,
Okay,
I
so it's
mean,
not a definite about,
weekday
15.
versus weekend, if you want to put a limit on it.
See, I would have a problem with that because now you're favoring one
Yeah.
group and.
Why can't, could you and someone else book 3 and 3?
yeah, I could call twice.
Or have another Niner call it,
Yeah, I could do that. if I
You
had
know,
to.
yeah.
Yeah. if
I
had
think that's
to.
what you should do is,
Okay,
if you need more than 4,
I'll do that.
you get another
Yeah, I didn't know if that
patron
was-
to call
if
with you.
4 tea times apply to weekdays, but it does.
Yeah,
Okay,
because, you have to differentiate what's, after 4, like you said, is an outing, right? Like,
okay.
you have to somewhat differentiate, those 2 classifications.
Mhm.
But, obviously,
And you're right, we can't have preferences for certain people. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there should be one policy regardless of the day.
Mhm.
I don't care what the, what's fair.
well, the books, when you do the books, is it the weekend or is it weekday only?
What's that?
Those,
Oh,
PGA books
well,
and
it's
the.
both, but it's after 12 on the weekend.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
I mean, my recommendation is to keep it as is and maybe assess it in July. or
That's,
something and
that's
see how it's
that's
working.
exactly what I said.
So keep
We're gonna June, June. at the
Keep
June
it-
meeting.
The exact same way. The only thing that I'd like to see a little different is that in person is still 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes.
Oh,
ahead.
we all voted
Yeah,
on,
we did that.
on
We
last,
voted
the
on that,
last
yeah, yeah.
one, so.
Nobody's even gonna get in the shop until.
No,
15
it's
minutes
6:45 is when they'll start
Yeah.
booking.
Well, it
I
should
mean,
be.
We'll figure out
It's
what
45.
desks they go to and all that. but
Yeah,
like,
that's
No
secondary.
line
earlier.
outside the shop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
line up and that's
We,
it.
we agreed, we all voted on it in the last meeting,
That's right.
right? That's the premise that I'm moving forward with.
Correct.
right? And again, this is just for the future. You know, it's just a conversation amongst us.
Yeah.
And just to gauge where everyone stands and, you know, like Mark says, that's his recommendation. That's what, you know,
Going down the road, we're gonna push people to go online.
yeah,
So,
ultimately,
you know what?
yeah,
And
I
that's
love
ultimately where
that.
you wanna go, right? I mean, so let's just call it what it is.
Yeah,
So if you go that route, so would you give them a benefit like a half an hour before?
well, yeah, I
Just to
mean,
put online and that frees up, staff time,
mhm.
because staff time is, I'm paying for somebody to be there, right? And
Well,
I'll
that's
pick
what
up their
Stanley
time.
does.
I'm sorry?
Stanley does.
And
that.
they're an hour before.
They're all
It's
online.
7 and then it's 11 or something for calls.
Collins.
Well, it's seven, it's an
Or
hour
9.
before, it's just
Oh,
an
it's
hour before.
Okay,
Rockledge is all online.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's Taj-
So we're gonna,
Taj
we're gonna end
Renewal
up being
too.
there eventually.
Yeah.
So, it's just something to think about.
But that's when you do that, it's a little easier to make the decision because you can only book one.
One,
One
yeah.
tea time.
So I mean, then it's a little easier to say, okay, you can only book one.
You know what? I've been here a long time, you've been here a long time too, and I think you're gonna find that whether you book one tea time or 4, the revenue is not gonna change that much, hardly at all. I mean, everybody, when this was in the Park and Rec, we had a big problem of them trying to take men's club tournaments away. Because they're losing revenue. Mark generated a report from the sales system itself that whenever there's a men's club tournament, the club makes more money on the tournament day than a non-tournament day.
Yeah.
And that kept them quiet. And so I mean, I think all this
That's
discussion.
true. I would have thought different, to be honest with you.
I know you would have, and that's why we generated the report. And you know what I was told? I was told, well, you could manipulate the numbers any way you want. And I said, how is that possible? They're coming right from your POS system.
Yeah.
Okay, and we proved it, and it was considerable.
That's
amount.
good, well, okay.
So, and that's a fact, and I think that whether you're allowed to do 4 times or 1 time.
I just feel they're still gonna get their times too. I bet you just 4 people will line up at the door and they'll be right in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
So why don't we just change it then?
Yeah, I know.
Why don't you just change it then if that's how you guys feel?
Because I don't think it's making.
There's no need to change.
Well,
it when
there's
it's
no-
not-
No, I'm just saying, if
Why
you-
don't we reassess?
No, I know, I'm just,
Because
this is
you're-
just a
Well,
question.
you're just
right?
inconveniencing these groups to where now they're gonna get upset. And like, there's no reason
Yeah.
to change it right now. There
No, I
really
know,
isn't.
we're
Well,
not,
this-
but I'm
this
saying,
is
if
just
you're
their
saying,
I
if
have
you're
it.
saying it doesn't matter, then why does it matter if we change it? or
But
not?
this will address what Joe was saying, where he couldn't get a time.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a time because they're all,
He's not gonna be able to get a time. either.
It's still the same, unless he shows up, he's not gonna be able to.
Yeah, unless you're
And,
driving on the spot.
look at it
So
this
what
way.
time do you normally put your tea time? What time do you normally go?
So I'll be honest, it's not me, it's my kid who does it.
Yeah, and what time?
Okay, there you go.
But if he's like,
Yeah,
oh, the
that's
day
up
before,
early.
I'm gonna call and see if I get a tea time.
No,
well,
that's
you
not
can
gonna
get a
happen.
tea time.
So listen, if there's one thing that would get my kid up early, is getting a tea time.
You can just show up at the
There you
door
go.
at 6:30 in the morning. and-
Yeah.
All
Well,
right, $24 cancellation policy. So we agree that we'll address this again come June meeting.
right, you can even do it later if you want.
So is,
Give me some time to assess.
July,
is
why
this-
bother? Why don't you just go until we see?
end of the year or
that
something.
It may be an issue. If we're making our numbers, we're making our
Leave
numbers.
it alone.
Is this?
Well,
one-
how are we ever gonna move to online only if you're not open to these things?
I didn't say I'm not open to them.
Yeah.
If 24 hours
thought
cancellation
we are
policy
going
in effect now?
Hold on.
No, I'm saying when it's online only, where you could only make 1 tea time,
Then,
you know?
then that's,
we'll have to-
then that's the procedure, then
Is it
that's
20
the procedure.
Yeah,
Is the 24-hour cancellation policy in effect now?
I put
I-
that there.
I didn't
It's
really,
just-
like, when I look at our rules on the website, I didn't read anything about like a cancellation policy
No.
or
I
fees.
never
So,
realized that.
No, there's not. And so I was like, well, and I don't have the data to back any of this up or I'm just questioning, Mark, how many people cancel? Less than 24 hours ahead of time.
I mean, I don't think, man.
Unless it's.
They're
I mean, I think they
Snow,
show, I
rain,
think they
stuff.
show
Yeah.
up.
Everybody shows
Maybe
up.
one person may not show.
We
but
would
the
try
rest of the
no
group
shows and we'd mark them as red and we rarely got no shows
Okay.
unless like it was a weather problem or something, but then we get a lot of no-shows, so it's.
But they still have to call, even if they call less than 24 hours,
They-
it's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I mean, we fill it because it's online.
Okay.
and people just are
All right.
always looking.
Very good. Opening day ceremony.
Wait, so what are we just coming
Opening
with?
day ceremony.
No,
For-
it's 24 hours, it's just not an issue.
Okay,
Opening day ceremony.
When is opening day?
December 25th.
You throw a number out there, you don't know.
Do we have a date yet?
I think
Well,
we-
No,
in Saul's thing, it says the 23rd, right?
Yeah.
In his report. Is that
that'll be the
solid?
earliest, that'll be the earliest.
And, all right, so why would that be I mean, what is holding opening day up?
My point of sale system.
Okay, so the point of sale system is, I thought it was in place. We have the point of sale system,
Mhm.
correct? Do you have the software?
It's not the software, the computers or hardwares, it's how we take money and how it gets transferred to the bank.
So how do we help you?
So
with
what
this?
can we do to move this along? Because this is, I mean, this should have been done, no, and it's not against you, but
Yeah.
this should have been done, you would. And I talked to Peter, I'm not gonna lie about this, but we put systems in, and I've put the systems in, this should have been done in January. And tested and conversion taken care of. So what is the holdup and what can we do to push this thing along? Because, every day we wait, it's gonna push it out more and more and more.
Yeah,
I mean, to get a bank account is simple, to get a change of chart of accounts is simple. I mean, where is the holdup? And
I think I have a better view on it on Monday. Right now, when I talk to people that I lean on for advice and information, they're telling me not to rush it. All right. So, so I'm okay with that.
well, as a taxpayer, I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
as a taxpayer, I'm not. As
Yeah.
a citizen, a voter in this town, I'm not. A commission member, I'm like, this is crazy. So I will call Roche tomorrow and find out what's going on. No offense,
Yeah,
but
go
I'm
ahead.
it's like.
If
this
you
is-
want to,
This is crazy.
you're gonna talk to them tomorrow anyway, right?
I'm gonna talk to him in the
Yeah.
morning anyway, yeah. And it's just,
And ask the question, is there a way we can be helpful?
Yeah.
To get
Yeah,
this
what can we
resolved?
do? I mean, what is the holdup?
Yeah.
I
on
just
the
told you,
POS?
like, how we put, for me to take money and that has to go to a bank.
so that, if it's got to do with money, it's gotta be the finance department.
It is.
Well, can't you just take cash?
Well, that's
Like, I don't know.
Is
I
ma-
wrote
is
something,
ma-
Don't rush it, and I'm not rushing you.
don't rush it, but we're losing.
Who's saying not
Talk to them about it,
rushing?
You can talk to them about it.
Who's saying not to rush it?
Arosh, Board of Finance,
But they want us to make money. I mean, that's on one hand, they're talking, they want us to make money and
Play right now. Could we open tomorrow?
23rd would be the earliest.
No, what about the POS system?
The course is ready on the 23rd.
Is the course ready now?
The course is ready on the 23rd.
That's not, so the
I
course.
think
is
I'm
not
answering
ready.
your question.
The course is not ready. So
Am I not? Am I not answering your question? The course is ready on the 23rd.
So it's not ready now.
Okay,
I will say that I was out there today with Goose Run and it is wet.
okay.
Thank
Back
you.
to back is
Okay.
very
Like,
wet.
would we just open for walking only or something? Or,
We've done.
because right now it would just be walking
We
only.
have none.
Yeah, I know we have done that, but like,
Well, and you need to, let us know what we can do to help.
Yeah.
and If anything, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, what could we, really, I mean, what?
Because the key is,
I didn't think I was asking for help, but
No,
Right, are we changing the bank that we have from last
Yeah.
week? Okay, okay,
Well, we used Webster last year.
well,
it's
Is it changed to the
more of
bank
a
account
count,
maybe?
yeah, more of
Right.
an account.
okay.
So let me ask the question a little different. So listening to this discussion, it's not just the POS system, it's also the condition of the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the long-term weather, we feel like the 23rd is the first day it could really open. Yeah,
Okay. Well, with that being said, opening day ceremony, what do you,
uh,
Joseph.
yeah. the
Who's hitting the
non-golfer.
first ball?
Mark's been hitting it since he's been here, so
Well, I
he's
asked
our
you
head
those
pro.
days.
He can hit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just let
I-
folks know when it is.
Yeah.
Do you need any
we
of us
are.
there? And what do you want?
I mean,
what
support's
do you-
always good. I know Chris Edge here at the town wants to do a ribbon cutting.
Nice.
Wow.
I know our
Who
Tyndall
wanted to get
Creative.
it?
Yes,
Like
I-
to
I-
do
I-
an actual
what's-
ceremony, like do a
what's-
ribbon
It's
cutting.
Chris
for that.
Edge. He works at the town.
At the press
So,
club.
I'll just put this out there, like the last couple of years at Stanley, they get the mirror out there.
Yeah, well, he's part of the email.
Yeah, he was
So is a
here.
Roche.
In the mirror
Right.
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Aroche was here last year.
We're,
But they were running late, they ran late, but they were there.
Good. Any issues if I call them up and say, we'd like to have you out? at the open zone?"
Right.
I'm sure he'd love to hear from you.
Does he want to hit the
I
wall?
don't know if that's the
Who's
case.
the mayor? Yeah.
We'll find out.
Well, you can push it. You can
He
push
can
it.
Yeah.
hit, right? Can he hit?
Why not?
You have one of those joke balls that blow up?
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. I have one of those.
You gotta make contact. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, they should be here.
Listen, you know what? It should be a ribbon cutting. It should be a big.
I thought the ribbon cutting was
It's
a
a
cool
great
idea,
idea.
honestly. I thought that was a cool idea.
And that's fine,
Yeah.
Great.
It's one of the-
Like, what, if we give the,
Yeah,
like,
well,
let's say
it
like
also-
around 11 o'clock in the morning, because I don't know anybody want to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
So I figure like 11 o'clock.
Mark would probably have a better answer on that.
Mark,
No.
I say like if you do the ribbon cutting around 11 o'clock, so that's a reasonable time.
Typically, yeah, we've done a 10 o'clock start, first come, first serve, probably the first day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've even done a shotgun if it's a nice day. But yeah, shotgun start is actually the best, because then you get a lot of people there. For the opening, that's what you really want for an opening day
Right.
ceremony. I would think, make a few announcements, like, so, introduce, it'd be a good opportunity for him to meet
Yeah,
a lot of people,
Introduce Saul.
I met a few of them already.
Yeah, but not the people you want.
Not the way you want to.
There's some good people in town.
I thought they were coming tonight, but not tonight, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why you put the extra sugar.
That's why we got snacks, everything. Going back to like opening day and the ceremonies. Jerry and I reassessed the course today. We dodged some weather this past few days, so if earlier this week, if you asked us, it would have been the week after. So we reassessed today, and we feel like that's really the first day we can open fully, like with carts and everything. And so that's when we rode around, it was pretty mushy, so you're just creating early damage to the course. So if it's mushy on a quarter side of the course, the whole course is affected, right? It's not just like it's one hole, go play 17 other holes. There's some holes that's pretty mushy. So
Okay.
Okay, so we have 1 week. before we
Maybe.
open.
How
At
many
the earliest.
days notice do you think you're gonna be able to give? Like, basically, put an email out that we're opening all that stuff.
I mean, like, I felt like there was a step forward today with our point of sale system. I mean, you got the same email information that I got. And I'm gonna reassess with them on Monday. And if we get an okay to do it on Monday, we'll send information out. So
So Saul, you're not taking any season passes yet then, right?
unfortunately, I haven't taken any money,
Okay, I got it. All right, thank you.
All right.
Or can we take that?
what?
Can we take money? Can you take money though? If once you, I mean, not,
Right now,
Forget
the
about-
system's not even live.
the system's not locked
Yeah.
in. So once
I
the
mean,
system is locked in, you can take money.
I thought of like, taking cash and checks and just filing it in my desk and then ring it up when the system's ready.
Don't
Yeah,
blow
okay.
it, yeah,
But,
don't-
that's
That
a
could
big
be a
liability,
I would- Too much risk. I would.
Yeah.
You go in my office every
I know,
day.
I know. I need a vacation.
You gotta pay for those teeth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So,
You know. CAP plan for this year and bridge update.
So, with the bridge update, I know in the past, Jerry's been talking about metal bridges that cost, a lot of money. So we reevaluated and came up with just redoing wood bridges. You know, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the mafia blocks that we have there now. It would take another set of mafia blocks to make it wider. But, you know, we would have earth contractors make the bridges, and rather than doing the aluminum and then powder coating it, you know, for one aluminum bridge, we could do 3 wooden bridges.
Really?
You're looking at 10,000 a bridge?
I mean, I think our budget's 50.
They're 35,000 a bridge, right?
30.
35 a bridge, is what they were.
So, you know, if not 3, you know, definitely 2, you know, depending on the size of bridge that you want, because I know some of them, you know, it's not just a walking bridge, you need utility carts to get
Yeah,
over
you
and
gotta
stuff.
have, yeah, emergency vehicles to be able to go over that thing. and
Right.
Trucks.
And
whatever.
trucks.
Yeah, exactly. So the tonnage is gonna be the key on that one.
Right. And so that's where we are for bridges.
But
So in terms of, when you say where we are, so they've transferred $50,000 from last year for bridges. So is there a bridge that's currently being scheduled, or 2 bridges, and
Not yet,
so nothing is scheduled yet?
correct.
Do you all have an idea of which bridge or bridges you would do first?
He talks about 18.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
yeah,
Probably
the 2 on
14, I would
I was gonna say
too.
14, so
Okay.
Yeah.
those would be the
So-
first few.
Okay. So since that money was allocated, there's movement forward to get those quotes
The
and get
bids?
that
Yeah.
started?
We're trying to get bids and
Bids,
quotes
okay.
on it.
Good.
There's even talk on like maybe doing it all in one shot, you know, where the finance team would help us with that.
Okay.
So, you know, there's a lot of variables to that, obviously, but at least there's more bridges that could be done with the funds that we have.
Huh, that's very good. That's actually good news.
So, yeah, I talked to them about that, but like you said, they're gonna do aluminum, like they're gonna do wood, right?
Wood, yeah,
Because I had mentioned about the concrete,
yeah,
the big tube, so you put sod over the top of that.
yeah.
But now, how much weight would that hold?
They couldn't hold a truck. Those sounded too.
I don't, you know what I'm saying, I mean, they do put them on, some golf courses do have them. I mean, down in Florida, they have them, they just have the big concrete tube,
Wood.
and you pour it so the water can get through. I mean, that water don't come through there, that water doesn't come through there that fast, right? I mean, it's not like a river, it's not like a river coming through.
Well, you've had times where that river has
It's
come
very
through there,
strong,
right?
yeah.
No, but somebody, well, I don't know, because it's really, it's coming up the highway, I mean, coming up,
Southington Road.
Southington Road and into the golf course,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, how fast is that water?
When
Unless you get
Marion
it-
opens up the dam, it comes in real quick.
If they open up the dam, but how often do they really open up that
Well, you
dam?
have to plan, it doesn't matter, you still have to plan for that. And that's right, that's exactly where you have to.
I know,
But if the
like,
tube, if it's big enough, I mean, it should take a lot of water to
the
there.
engineers in town doesn't
That's what I-
recommend that.
Yeah, he
They're
doesn't-
not recommending
Okay,
that.
okay,
Also, you have to think of like the work you have to do in the future as well, like, because, you know, you're talking about sod and soil covering it, well, that could be washed off, then you gotta spend more money on doing that and redoing it. You know, we feel like with the wood, it's just do it once and then,
Yeah.
you know,
Line-
like I won't be
line-
around the
the line
next
is
time
good.
it's gonna
I
get
know.
done, so,
Right, that is beautiful, it is.
yeah.
And
And
we talked
Lyman?
about that a long time ago
Yeah.
with Jerry.
but
Bridget Lyman.
yeah, they're,
I
but
asked Jerry last year to find out who did that bridge.
I'll find out tomorrow. I'm over
Can you
there.
take a picture
Yeah, I'll
tomorrow?
do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I had.
But the thing today-
I mean, no offense, let me just.
Yeah.
We're going around in circles.
Yes,
Not- not-
I guess,
not
I don't
knowing you're
know,
new here,
yeah.
but We did this with Jerry,
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like deja vu, it's like, how many times we have to keep doing
The
this?
money just got allocated. Well, I say just, it got allocated July
Mhm.
2022. So July of 2022, the money's there.
You know, I mean, I feel like we're gonna move forward with it very soon, so.
And then you gotta watch the beavers too, because the beavers do build around these ponds, that little stream down there too. Cause that's why the other day when it was raining, you could see how that water was up.
Rising.
And that's a
yeah.
lot of that. beaver-
Somebody came in today and said there's a beaver.
a beaver dam.
The
On
dam,
13.
on
that's not
13.
good, man, you
No.
gotta get rid of those things.
He walks through there, I guess.
There's you can trap them twice, I mean,
That
one
guy
time a
Nick-
year.
Nick
You
came
Yeah.
in, Yeah, and he's like,
We don't-
you got a big
Yeah.
beaver dam on 13.
have, you can trap them once a year.
I had them on my property. Yeah, my neighbor was tracking it.
Last
How do they
year,
taste? They taste.
last year I took the drone and with Jerry.
Supposed to be
and
central.
I did,
Tastes like chicken.
We looked at every
Tastes
single
like chicken.
brook from above and there were no dams last year.
Mhm.
All right.
CIP, what
I'll
else,
take a
what-
picture of that.
besides the bridges, what else, what are you looking at, so? I mean, you have, right now, 22,758 in that account, right? I mean, that's not encumbered,
Right.
that's free, right?
I know,
And we haven't even opened up yet, so what are you planning for that?
some of the things that we want to do is like get some new trash receptacles. Maybe that's a donation from some of the clubs, but you know, that would be one of the things that we're looking into. We're also looking into like a divot bottle holder
Yeah,
for the first or 10th hole. You know,
Those are all capital items?
what's that?
Those are
that's
capital
what we
items?
said, I wouldn't think that's capital, well,
Is
the
that
holder,
operating?
that's just wood,
I
right?
mean, we're
What's the isn't capital a certain amount?
Is it 5,000 or 10,000, right, and a useful life of whatever, more than 1 year, right? So those items are less than $5,000 or $10,000,
each,
yeah, correct.
but you know, if you get the amount that we're trying.
Well, the holder is still less.
No,
than-
the holder's only like a grand.
Yeah, but
yeah.
the trash receptacles, I mean, it's not gonna be $5,000 with the garbage cans, right? Or even 10,000, I think it is now.
You get to, you know what, the ones I saw, they're double, they've got the recycling on one
Recycling
side,
garbage.
the garbage on the other, and they're all composite, they are beautiful, I'll guarantee you those things are at least a grand. Times 18 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, man.
We're probably not getting those.
On the town document.
Yeah, we're not gonna, what, or how about sand traps and things like that? I mean, what's going on with those things?
Well, sand traps that's a really big project. I mean, we're gonna do our yearly, you know, start of year maintenance on it where, you know, you, excuse me, not only add sand, but you know, you gotta restructure where the sand is, edge it and
Yeah.
stuff. So, you know, that's part of their opening procedures in the next few weeks, coming month. But you know, future projects that, you know, we're hoping to get into is like obviously bunkers, but the pavement in front of the golf shop, some car paths, you know, things like that. So
So do you have a formal plan that you're looking at? now at this point in time?
we're
Or
just
you-
trying to finish our projects, our current projects, and that would be after the bridge, post bridge. And then we'll reassess on what we have, you know, in the bank.
Well, do you, all right, let me ask you another question. Do you have a 1, 3, 5-year plan for CIP? I mean, 'cause we had a 5-year plan that was sitting out there, and I'm the one having to forward through
Yeah,
that Jerry had provided to us, and Jonathan had one too, and it's just, all we heard was, I never saw that before, and it's like, this.
well, I haven't
you
seen
haven't.
it before,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
maybe
know,
send it
it's
to
like-
me.
It's like deja vu over again.
Like
so.
if, for me, the most important things are like, you know, how the golf shop looks outside, you know, the pavement around the shop and the car paths. When I right around the course, I mean, my drink's spilling all over me right off the bat on number one. So, you know, those are, and bunkers, those are my three. They're not in order,
Yeah.
but those would be my three.
Something to look at too would be the second hole.
Mhm.
Recording in progress.
The left side of number 2, I don't think they ever got completed that project. Right?
Well,
Well, this is just weird here. But the second hole, they took out a lot of trees.
mhm.
And I think the plan was to grow grass there, essentially. And now it's just rocks, it's just nasty.
But they're gonna put that pine straw in there too, right?
I mean, whatever it was, I think we need to, at some point, address it as a capital project. Like that can't look like that forever, where it's just gonna be rocks and dirt and just nasty.
And you can't hit your ball out of there,
So like, yeah, it's just not what we wanted. I think when we took out the trees, we envisioned grass would grow in there, and I don't think grass is growing.
Can't, there's no sun.
Yeah, I don't think
There's
enough
no-
trees have come out.
No dirt.
And there's dirt, there's no topsoil there.
Yeah.
So you could take them wood chips that they cut down the trees and put the wood chips in there. And just put maybe,
I just think it's something, when we open, you take a ride out there or whatever, you look at it
Yeah.
and like see if it's something you wanna pursue in the future. It doesn't need to be immediate, but I think
Right.
that area needs attention.
When we open, I mean, not when we open, when during the summer, we all should rock around and, we all can get
Yeah.
some
Get some ideas.
ideas together. I'm open to that if you guys are.
Absolutely.
I know, one last thing is, I don't know if we'll get a lot of grief or agreement with it, but, Jerry and I are starting to realize that we may have to help with the clock with CIP. So that's why, we're coming up with these plans. I know we had a meeting, Mark, Gail, and is it Donna Bouvet, so there's a lot of other alternative ideas, where maybe it wouldn't cost as much, to do the clock. So I know Jerry's a little more open to it.
The solar thing is,
No, basically, the idea to try to do that whole corner and make it, I'll call it pristine, and redo the retaining wall, do we really need all that just to get a clock? Or could we do less of a base and less of a retaining wall to at least get a clock up, and then at a later date, do a bigger footprint? And the answer is probably yes. So I think Jerry and Saul are looking at options to do less of a site and
Right.
mainly try to get the clock up, as well as we're looking to sell, Mark's gonna we'll try with Deirdre to sell some more T-sign markers. So we're working on it, And Arosh and Kevin were open to discussing it again in April or May, so.
Yeah, I know the last meeting, I couldn't really give an update on the clock, so that's our little update on the clock.
alright. Alright, T-Sign's got $9,000 cash, right?
Yeah, that's
Alright.
what we just talked about.
Very good. CIP budget, we talked about that already. Reports, actually, you know what, open discussion, we kind of missed that
Open
one.
discussion.
We also didn't do the Timberland P and L,
Yeah.
we missed that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got, you know what? Yeah, I know, right? Open discussion, listen, next month we'll be meeting, from there forward, we're meeting the Doc McIntosh room. So we are in a bigger room,
Okay,
alright?
Yep.
P and L, where's that?
that's it.
Over,
Same
Around the
floor.
It's just on the other side.
well, the main door goes to the right.
Main door to the right.
Yeah, right?
We'll put a
Yeah.
sign up.
To the right.
It's like-
P and L,
Balloons at the door.
Right.
Yeah, I have I have a couple of questions, can I start?
shoot.
Okay, so we have two documents that we get sent, we have this, year-to-date February, financial with 3 columns, fiscal year 23, 22, and then the variance. And then we're sent this, fiscal year 23 budget versus actual, and it has all the line items in more detail, adopted, amended year-to-date. And I'm sure there's a reason why, so, and if you don't have an answer, maybe you'd have to get back to me. So on the first one, year-to-date fiscal year 23, we're looking at revenue of 693 and expenses of 787. And then when you go to the other form,
Bus is 850.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right.
and then when you go to the other one, year-to-date expenses, it says, no, under expenses, you've got, I think,
850.
850.
Yeah.
So it's 850 versus the 787. So there's a $62,000 difference. So that's question one. And if you want, I'll give you these with my notes if you want to. And then it looks like on this one, that has the detail line items here. I'm not sure why electricity is up under fringe benefits. It looks like somebody may have, you know how you can hide columns or hide rows or,
Yeah.
Why would electricity be under fringe benefits? I think it should be down under professional and technical. And the same thing, wages and salary, you have workers' comp. but workers' comp
That's a fringe.
is should be under fridge, so I think, I'm just wondering about those. So the discrepancy in the two reports, the things maybe not being in the right column. On the town budget, the department head is under wages and salary, but on the year-to-date report, it's on professional and technical. It doesn't matter where it falls, it's just, I guess we should have some consistency, I don't know why that was changed. But overall, I think, year-to-date, we're doing well in the sense that our revenue is up, actually 60K over last year to date, so that's a good thing. And our expenses are not up year-to-date, so.
Yeah, but the expenses that we have here, that's 60,000 on top of that. They would, if this is, Sal, does this one come right, this comes right off of the town general ledger?
Both these files come from two different folks. So maybe there's a typo in that, where the electricity and the workers'
Well, you're
comp.
still short $60,000 and change
Yeah,
in your expenses on
So-
one of them.
where do these come from? They come from different people, so where do they come from?
The finance department.
So they both come from finance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, but there is a discrepancy.
There's a problem.
So I just, it might be as to, what buckets things get placed in, but I don't know which one is accurate, so maybe you could find that out.
Sure.
I would think that this would be the more accurate one of the two, because it looks like this was just generated by somebody, pushing, comparative dates. This was prepared by somebody else.
They're two different people.
I know, but using another type of,
System
yeah,
or formulas or whatever.
yep. I didn't bother checking them to see if they even foot, but I'm assuming that they would have to, right?
So,
Yeah, I'll have to follow up, Gail.
okay,
Well,
thank you.
March is gonna be way down, but April will be way
Yeah,
up
right?
once the
Yeah.
passes kick in.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Well, it looks like we're like almost $70,000 kind of ahead of the previous fiscal year.
Right,
And I know we're showing we're losing money, 93,000, but like we're way ahead of where we were.
right, that's what I meant. Last
Yeah.
year, we're certainly ahead of last year. I'm just trying to understand if we should be looking at, this 787, or should we be looking at
850.
850?
That's right. If
That's
you're
my
looking at
question.
850, it doesn't matter, you're losing more money, but
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Saul.
I'll follow up on it.
Thank you.
all right, that takes P&L, open discussion. Besides Doc McIntosh, once, twice, Sad?
Just
Jim,
going back to the POS, right, so talked about grounds, right? We're still gonna try to reach out and see what we can do to get POS fully operational and
Yeah, I
functional.
think he's gonna talk to
I'm gonna talk to Roche tomorrow.
Can you send something out?
I will let you know
Don't
exactly.
anybody reply, but just send it
Yeah,
out.
I will.
Yeah, that would be helpful,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Fair enough. That's it? Okay. Reports,
I'm another kid.
the 29-year-old kid over there. Sal, director report. Has everybody read that? Sal's report? Okay.
So the newest thing is Jim Cyrus, he did get us a new Kubota, cause it's the same price as used, I guess, so, but there's a $10 lead on it, so.
Man, oh man, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why, that's better late than never.
Other than that, the facility's ready, the driving range is ready, we just gotta put some sod down. We have all our accessories and stuff, so. We're changing to Frontier in the golf shop, going away from Comcast. Just to get some better performance with fiber
Really?
optic.
You have Frontier, right, Nancy? How's that working out, really?
And in some cases, we're saving some money on it, so. I know I said I'm here to make money, but we're saving money too.
Well, that's part of making money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope their service isn't what, oof.
No, I think it's changed, they've definitely.
I hope
You know,
so.
so
Wait,
we
What
got
do we
now.
have?
Comcast was
With-
terrible.
With the fiber you're
Yeah,
talking
okay.
about.
Yeah, the fiber optics.
Right, because they can't fix my landline. I
No.
mean, it's on, it's off, and the guy told me go to fiber because we're just letting it go to pot as far as the
Who,
old
Comcast?
landline.
No,
No, Frontier,
Up front there, really?
Yeah, the fiber optic is really good.
yeah.
Interesting.
I'll switch.
Is the, and the ladies locker room, ready for when you open?
I don't think the boards are like bulletin boards, you mean? In the
No,
locker room?
is everything out of there now?
Yeah,
Yes,
Everything's out of there?
yes. Oh, I think the only thing in there is the goosenenated.
Okay, and
that's how it is now too.
Is it out there?
Really neat.
Where is it?
It's on the back of your truck, isn't it?
No,
Can they-
you said you have an extra one in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then, no, then
It's
it's,
in there.
then that's in
It's
there.
in there.
I thought you took it out.
I mean, you know what, I may take that out because I'm gonna replace the motor, remember how that one kind of lagged? Cause I'm gonna be doing stuff for Steve Woods too, for in town, so.
In the locker room, can they take that shower out and replace it with a storage?
Just take the shower out, you saying?
Yeah, you know the shower in the ladies' locker room?
yeah,
You should
Yeah.
probably have a shower in there.
yeah.
People
why would-
really use it?
I don't know, but I would be hesitant to take it out.
Okay, all right,
Do we need more storage?
it's always nice to have the extra, but you know, we
Maybe-
do have the lockers. But I'm just saying, I didn't realize if anybody used it.
I don't.
I know our Lady Niners don't use it.
Yeah, I don't think it gets used that much, but it's kind of like something that, it's kind of like,
You have to have.
You
you
have to
take it out, it's a locker room, and
Yeah.
if somebody wants to
Fine.
take a shower. How about some furniture? Are we getting a couple of nice chairs or decent chairs and a table?
I'll follow up on that.
Yeah, the last
only
I
thing
checked, there
that
was
I know
nothing in
of,
there.
only thing I know of is like you're getting new bulletin boards.
We need a couple of chairs, so if you wanna sit down and change your
Do
shoes,
or something.
and then a table, like sometimes we put, goodies out or something, or we have flyers to put out that maybe don't go on the bulletin board or
Exactly.
something.
You don't get it, buddy.
We need a table with a couple of chairs.
The men's room is not like that.
And,
No,
you know,
but
if
it's
they
got all my
can't get anything,
displays.
they can give me, a little
You
money,
have
I mean,
flowers?
I'll go and buy.
We have showers?
Secondhand
Flowers?
stuff.
No.
But they probably have some stuff somewhere.
I can look into it with facilities, maybe
Yeah,
if they have
please.
something that is not being used in like other areas of the
Yeah,
town
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Last
great.
thing, last thing
Leave the
for
voice.
my report is just getting with Jerry and Billy about a couple things, how they cut the cut, green speed, things like that.
Are they gonna roll them this year at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's more than just rolling, we're looking into getting a brusher, so it's a brush effect before you cut and roll.
Raises the
To raise the
grass. Oh, okay,
grass,
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
so you're not cutting like,
Yeah.
it's like when you shave, right, you try to
That's
get
the
your hair
grain,
out, yeah.
yeah.
So we feel like that will help with some green speed and green firmness.
Okay.
I've looked into, many different ways of how to cut a hole, I mean, I get a video here and there from someone in the room, but, there's,
You get some of those from me too.
Well, the Players Championship, that was impressive.
yeah,
When they did it on 17,
right.
Yeah.
But
they cut the whole.
the week before on 16 and TBC Scottsdale, they didn't use one, right? So there's many ways to skin a cat, but I think the most important thing is how they finish it off, right? It's not how you make the hole, it's how you finish it off. It's like making sure they're using a cup setter and using that cup setter to bring the hole down. But also maybe a PVC pipe to roll over it,
Simple.
Can you take the scissors and cut around the
Level,
hole?
because
Yeah,
it's
level.
rounded
Yeah.
quite a few times.
And I encourage everyone to look into donating. Donating effect is when 200 footsteps are around the hole, that's gonna create a rising effect. And maybe sometimes that's what happens with our amount of play and how our greens aren't so firm. The more steps you have around the hole, the more it's gonna look like it's raised or play like it's raised.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
It's called
Yeah, it does.
donating effect,
Would that be glazed or dipped?
French curl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
our cups, we used to have the white rings around the top.
Yeah,
Could we maybe think about putting those back?
the plastic rings?
Yeah.
Are those legal?
Oh, yeah.
They are, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I can ask, make a mention of it. The one thing I just ask everyone to realize is, there's a timing to all these cup
Oh.
cutting,
Noted, yeah.
right? Like, so the more time we add on a certain procedure, the more maybe that affects, the staff negatively. But I'll look into that, Peter.
But the rolling, the PVC alone will do wonders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like how you use the cup setter, it's not just to bring the cup down, you actually have to step on it.
Yeah.
So it presses it back down. So,
So you met with
Hey,
the,
hey, Saul,
hey,
Saul,
hey, Seth,
yeah, is there gonna be you're gonna complete putting the 150s out there for each hole? Because there's some holes that don't have the 150 markers out there.
oh, that's the first time we're hearing of it, so I'll look into that, Seth. You're
Yeah.
saying like the
And then
white
the other
marker?
thing,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we've got, most holes have the 150, but there are still a number of them that don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did those late in the year.
Yeah.
very late.
Yeah,
From what I understand, that's on the
Some of them
agenda.
were broken.
Mhm.
where people
No, they
did
just
them.
came in late.
No, we're talking the bubble,
The bubble.
the white bubble.
Cause like in our
Oh.
shed, I asked,
Those are good.
there's a bunch of those white,
Yeah,
Yeah, they came in
golf
late
ball
last
looking
year.
yeah, they
ones.
came in late.
'Cause we have a
and
pole
then,
out here.
and then the other question I have is, what's the time frame of putting up the tent for Ramsey, or you guys talk about that at all?
Yeah, we have to get a certain degree and certain weather for it because it needs to be stretched out. Our timing is May 1.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Has anybody checked with Ramsey? Has he booked anything out there prior to that?
I mean, I know he has like an Easter brunch, but May 1 is what we told him, and he didn't really say much about it.
Yeah,
So.
it's always the first week of May.
Was that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually April.
Yeah.
Because Berlin baseball's always been in April, yeah, in May now, but they've always been in April.
Really? I thought it was
Well, I
around
was thinking
May.
of the first weekend of May.
No,
Me too.
Berlin
They put it
baseball,
up.
it's
Berlin
always,
baseball.
it's been the last week of April.
Okay.
A lot. But I mean, we have a tournament May 2nd, so if we get rain May 1st, what's gonna happen?
The information I got is, it needs to be like a certain degree for the vinyl to stretch and not break. So, I mean, if we get weather, prior to that, I can definitely ask Jerry to do it.
That'd be good, cause we have 140 players coming May 2nd, they gotta use the time.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
How many?
Well, it's 100.
140.
Well, I didn't-
240.
No, 140.
No,
Oh,
The YMCA is hosting their.
Oh, yeah, we wanna do a nice job for them. This is our first year here, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we wanna try to do a nice job.
The written line, the written narrative?
They did it at Wallingford Country Club, now it's gonna be. at
Nice.
Yeah, so let's try to, let's try to.
Can I mention, when we talk to tournaments that we have at the high schools and whatever, and you're probably the point of contact in a lot of this stuff, kind of replace the divots and ball marks, because we played after them, and it's just like this, I could have made a coat out of these things, it's just, and ball marks every year, I mean, we're all to the point, it's like, you're fixing 5 ball marks on a green, it's just, I mean, how do we get into people's heads? It's like, come on, people, you need to, rake the trap. This is basic etiquette, and it's just not happening. I think we're losing that, and I do see that. And it's not a knock against the high schools, but when they have their tournaments, it's just like, holy cow! It's just, you're too good to fill a divot. It's just stupid. It's nuts.
We'll make sure we mention that to every.
And the coaches too. It's like, look, otherwise, you know what, Tom?
I mean, we should do it with the outings too.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's what. I mean, no offense, don't
I
come
don't wanna
back.
just pick on the kids, but like, the outings are guilty too.
Oh, the booze everywhere, the cans everywhere. It's like, come on, it's like somebody has to pick this stuff up.
Are we
And
gonna have a
maybe-
ranger this year?
I'm
that's
sorry?
Going around? Are we gonna have a ranger this year going around at all? I mean, maybe not at all times, but
I mean,
sometimes.
do you put an extra deposit down for a cleanup deposit? I mean, no offense. I mean, now it's time to talk about some of this stuff. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
It's
but
just,
to their defense, though, the trash cans we have, they're like this big.
It's small.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you have to have beer cans in the fairway, right?
Yeah.
Or nippers in the
No,
boxes.
you're right, but I
It's
mean, the
like,
overflow at the garbage
That's one,
cans.
no, well, that's one thing, but he's right, on the course.
We did see a bunch of bottles and cans in one of the sand bunkers, 2 years ago. Oh,
yeah.
we were like, oh, at least a 12-pack in a bunker.
It's just, you know,
Well,
That's a good
what do you
question,
think
though.
about if we had a ranger on that tournament? To just go out there?
Somebody policing it out there will
Yeah,
certainly
well,
help.
there's a tournament there, just have somebody go out and check it and make sure everything being done right, and see what's going on.
Well, you were hiring rangers, correct?
We have
you
rangers,
have rangers.
Oh, okay, good.
you know,
How many rangers do we have?
3.
3? Good, all right.
I think you're gonna see a marked improvement in.
Well, that'll make,
I
that should
didn't-
make a
I
difference.
play too, so.
As long as it fits in the budget. You know, I mean, Mark tells me I need rangers in the afternoons most, like every day. So, you know, and then I'm sure we'll need rangers, you know, during the day as well, like especially in the weekends.
What's your
So-
full budget for rangers?
What's that?
What is the full budget for rangers?
I don't have the number in front of me, but there's an expenditure line for ranger starters and
Right.
cart corral kids, so.
So do you have to,
It's not-
train
it's
any of
not
these
a-
rangers?
It's not 40 hours a week.
Change it for what?
Sorry?
Is there any
Sorry, sir?
training that has to take place with these rangers, or are they experienced?
No, I mean, probably both, but, you know, even if they're very experienced, I'm still gonna put them in training.
Alright. Anything else for Saul? Mark?
I thought I printed my report
You
twice,
did?
because I saw Saul's direct
I know.
report.
I got
We're very
it.
uniform in our header. So I apologize for not being in the last 2 meetings, so I will try to attend to each one, because I think it's important I'm here. Just to go through real quick, and please stop me if you have any questions. The golf course was closed during the month of February. We have a new website, so go check that out. The new company 4Up that we're working with is going to do our website, our point of sale, our online tee sheet and marketing platform. They did a nice job on the website. So it's fresh looking and it's good. I think a lot of people will go to it. The high school schedule has been released. The girls play in the spring, so they have about 5 matches. I believe they're preseason #1 in the state, I believe. They won the state championship last year. So, and they have the exact same 5 players. So I think that they'll do, and they won by 31 shots. So I think they'll do well. They're very excited. The coach, he's super excited. So that's always good for us to have them playing at Timberland. I attached the April calendar. There's not too many events, as you'll see, but I'll try to put a calendar to each one of our meetings for the following month, and you can check it out. I sent out all the league and outing contracts, and I let them, we did adjust the outing contract a little bit. So we spoke with Ramsey on this, and he was pretty adamant about no alcohol donations from tournaments. So basically,
What do you mean?
in the past, he's allowed, donations for alcohol. They have somebody came in and they had a beer sponsor,
Oh, okay.
essentially for a tournament. But that's gone, so we wanted to make that clear in the actual contract. I've only received back probably 5 contracts when I've sent out about 10, so I had to follow up on those. But other than that, in terms of volunteer carts, we did change that as well. Like, that's going to be up to Saul if he wants to allow volunteer carts. I believe there will be no maintenance vehicles used for outings, correct? So tightening things up there a bit. And then if we need extra carts, the tournaments will have to rent them. The golf shop displays, we cleaned all of them. They're ready for merchandise arrival. I don't know if anybody's been to the shop, but it looks great.
It looks good. It looks good. It does. It
They
looks
did a
good.
really nice job. They changed the lights, they painted it, and they put the new flooring in, put the counters on both sides, and it really looks good. So that's gonna be a nice, fresh look for people when they walk in the spring. It's not as dark, it's a lot brighter, so that's good. I've been in touch with St. Paul School. We're gonna run their junior program again. It's usually on Wednesday afternoons. And then all of our information for our spring programs for instruction and youth programs has been emailed out. People are signing up, which is good. So I think that'll be pretty healthy. We met with Deirdre, who does our marketing. We all agreed that like we want to continue showcasing everything, whether it be restaurant, youth programs, the golf course is going to be featured. There's just gonna be in the men's club, women's club, all that's gonna be featured, and I think it's been pretty popular. If anybody has any recommendations on our marketing, let either Saul or I know, but I don't think our problem is getting people in the door. I think we probably wanna showcase what we have. I think that's always been the thing, and yeah, we want new people and new members of all these clubs. I think that's really the goal, and just get a regular following.
Deidre's done a great job.
Yeah, and she really is on top of all the club, who she's in contact with.
Yes.
I gave her a list of all the tournaments. She reaches out to every tournament director and they take pictures and send them to her directly, so she kind of takes out, the middle person, and it's really helpful. So again, I think she's doing a nice job, and we had met with her about our marketing plan, so it sounds pretty good. I started updating the T sheet, which, I'm glad I'm able to still do that because it's organized chaos between like the 20 plus leagues we have during the week, and the T sheet just needs to be set up properly. That's always just kind of been my thing. Like, if the Lady Niners start on the front nine and they were supposed to start in the back, well, it affects them, but it also affects the afternoon leagues where they start, and it just can be bad. So the new system, I'm getting used to it. It seems fairly easy to update, so we'll see how it comes into play when we actually open. Gift cards and season passes we can sell online, so I know that's something Saul's gonna look into. I think that's a game changer for mainly the gift cards, because now they're available 24 hours a day, where you can print them on, and we've had a few people over the off season. How can I get a gift card? I got somebody's birthday coming up.
Yeah.
Unless you're there to physically make one, you can't do it. So now they have that option, or they will. It's not up yet, but it will be. Moving forward, I want to give a shout out to Reed Myers.
Yeah, right?
April 2nd, we'll be representing Berlin and Timberland at the National Drive Chip and Putt Championship at Augusta National. He's going to be there during Masters Week, and it's nationally televised, and he's the first person out of Connecticut to make it to the National Drive Chip and Putt. And he's really excited. I know the CSGA is going to do an article on him as we get closer. The Connecticut PGA is going to do it. But we're going to market it as well as we get closer, because I think it's important that he feels the support from the Timberland family. And he's super excited. So, he's only 9 years old, and he hit it 200 yards 3 times in a row, right down the middle in the regional qualifier. So he's a good kid, and it's a good family. So that'll be really exciting and really great for Timberland, because I really feel like that's going to be mentioned when he's on national TV. They do interviews and stuff with the players. So it'll say where he's from, where his home course is, and that's going to be huge for us.
Mark, I think it's good because we've been talking about the youth program for a long time, and how involved you've been with that, and this is a good way to highlight that, and showcase it. It really is.
Absolutely.
And maybe the town council too, say, listen, this is something that we've been talking about this. Well, guess what? Here it is, right?
Yeah. You got this. You got the high school teams that are successful.
And I don't think we get enough recognition. It really doesn't get recognized enough. We all know that, but this is a good.
No, it's
showcase it.
It's really good for the town to show that their youth programs at the golf course are not only good for a 9-year-old he's obviously really good, but that's not everything. Like, a lot of these kids love golf, whether they're highly skilled or just getting into it. And then when they get to high school, maybe some of them keep playing recreationally, but then some play at the high school level and they succeed. So, and those are our future customers if you want to look 20 years from now.
Absolutely.
So I will say, junior golf has always been supported in Berlin, even before I was there, it's always been supported, so just hope that continues, because I really think, you know, there's a lot of kids like Reed that are playing up there now. I mean, you see them all the time at night, you know, and that's gonna be fun to watch as they get older. Except for my two goons, I don't know. I might put them out of town.
He's an easy guy.
So the league schedule,
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
the league schedule's been finalized, and I mean, it's gonna be busy. One league left to go to Lyman for a year, they're already coming back after 1 year, which is cool. But yeah, it's gonna be busy in the afternoon. I mean, I guess the only downside is if you have a season pass, you really can't get out between 3 and 6 Monday to Thursday, so, that's the downside of it, but it's a significant source of revenue. It's probably 15% of our total revenue between the carts they take and the greens fees, so.
You know, I will say too that, say what you want, but Ramsey's a pretty big part of leagues too, because he caters to them. And what he puts out, the specials and everything else, these leagues don't only come back for Timberland, but they come back for the experience with Ramsey, so. I mean, we gotta give Ramsey kudos.
Oh, he's a huge player when it comes to the
No,
leagues
there's
and
no
the hours.
question.
They really enjoy his flexibility and working with him, so, you know, he's an all-star when it comes to attracting leagues and
Yeah,
outings.
and Saul, I think you're gonna see this year exactly what all the scuttlebutt is about on that clubhouse on weekends and things. It's just best one around, there's no question. I mean, it's.
I mean, one thing I will say about Timberland is the environment up there is really, you feel like Timberland's your home. You know, it's a real family environment where some places are turning corporate and like it's just changing. Like we still have that small town feel and a lot of regulars, and I know that they appreciate that. And if it were to change, they might not appreciate it as much. I don't really know. But I think that it's important that we just continue that environment that we create up there. You know, which is good.
Mark, I have a question. Do you know what's if anything's going on with Wallingford and Southington? We're getting a ton of new members from Wallingford and Southington.
And you still rates.
Southington Country Club.
I don't know if it's Southington Country Club, but I know they're from, you know, a lot of applications are Southington and Wallingford's a ton of them.
If this Wallingford Country Club has gotta be the rates, because I hear a lot of people were leaving a lot of the country club because of the rates going up.
I think what it is
We have almost
that
30 new members and it's not even opening day yet.
we have like a couple
Last year we had
new
72,
members,
we're gonna
and then
surpass
it just
that.
like, they enjoy their experience, I think like, and then they get their friends that maybe stayed at the clubs, like, I
Yeah.
think it just keeps building. Nancy was mentioning that the Lady Niners have 5 new members.
Already.
Beautiful.
We have a couple.
And, you know,
We got one, right?
that's important. You're gonna have people leave the club, but you're gonna have people.
Right, right.
99er?
I mean, but I think all our organizations are very strong.
29er.
But just moving forward, you know, I'm gonna continue to work with Saul, helping him transition any way I can. I know things will be a little different in terms of the flow of traffic in the day-to-day, but you know, he knows that I'm available, any sort of advice he needs, or, you know, just based on with my experience and everything over the last 12 years. So, I'm a team player, I'm gonna just help in any way I can, and, obviously, I start attending board commission meetings.
Well, you know, on behalf
Yeah,
of the.
we're gonna live with this guy.
He has to be there now.
Listen, on behalf of all of us, we're, you know, sorry, our condolences go out to you and your family for
Oh, thank you.
Carmen. It was a great hurt, it really was.
Yeah, he'll be missed, but
Yeah,
he'll be
good news.
watching, he'll be actually watching, making sure that people replace their divots.
That's
Probably get struck with lightning if they do.
Yes. That would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Any questions on Jerry's report? I have one question, I brought this up and I'll move some further, because I talked to Sal about this. The concrete pad report on the relocation of the irrigation and wiring coming with the new pad. And so Sal said, I guess you didn't know where the heads were on the range?
Yeah, I mean, they were caught by surprise when they dug up.
It wasn't on the whole
On
chart
the map.
either. It wasn't on the irrigation map.
So it was updated.
Alright, so now you know where, even so now you know where the heads were around the greens too then too, right? So the range was the only one that they didn't have any idea where anything
Yeah, I mean,
was?
if you're talking about the golf course, they have a map on that.
Well, that we know.
Yeah, the driving range was missing, so.
So they have, and how about all the putting greens, we're good with those?
From my understanding, yeah.
Right? Until we
Yeah,
can dig them up, right?
No, the water was on there last year. There was-
No, the water was on the greens too, this is where the heads were and then the lines, that's
Right.
all, so. But, all right, anything else?
No.
Motion to adjourn. Jimmy. Second,
Joe.
Joe. Thank you all.
All right.
And welcome again, Joe, and, I mean,
Excuse that.
as a chair,
I've been working
and Bill as
on
a member.
Look forward to it. I'm gonna give you one of them cards now.
Thank you, Peter, for doing the Zoom.